to Tony's Barbers. We're here to interview the great man, Ricardo. And Ricardo just, not too long, just come from Ben TV. He had an extensive interview talking about sports science and the kind of work he's been doing in the community. So you can see he's a very busy man. I probably leave him and got another pressing engagement as well. You know, so we have a man who's very well known in the community. A man who's very committed in terms of helping people to develop themselves and to feel their true potential. And you know, I've got a lot of respect for Ricardo. You know, a lot of respect for Ricardo. I know he's a cricket man. He loves music, but most of all, his speciality is in doing sports science. Ricardo, how are you keeping, brother?
Yes, greetings.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Ricardo, I want to let people tell a bit about yourself, man, and you know, how you got from sports science and so forth. Yeah.
Well, how it originally started, really, my brother's cricket team, my younger brother, this is just before he was playing for Middlesex.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is 1990, 91. Originally started there from a coaching perspective. So I was there coaching him in my backyard with a little ball and thing, coaching. Play a couple of strokes. And from there it progressed and curiosity got the better of me from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know more about how the body worked. And how, especially fast bowlers, what's the secret behind the West Indies producing so much fast bowlers? And there was a big man I asked one time, a white guy, was a coach down at Middlesex, and I says to him, what makes a guy bowl fast? And he says, son, I got no idea, couldn't tell you. And this is a man with 20, 30 years coaching experience. I said, but it's strange not being able to answer that question. So from then, my curiosity was pricked from then.
Mm-hmm.
And spending a lot of time growing up as a young man, I was always involved in music and other little things. I played the saxophone for a little bit as a youth, and I had a little sound system. And I spent a lot of my time in Tottenham on the streets with a lot of friends. But that question kind of pricked my curiosity. And also as well, I have to say, Pepper Kai, who was at Head Start at the time as well, kind of pricked my curiosity from a reading perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he used to see me and stop me, he encouraged me to become a scientist, go and study science. And I said, boy, I'm couldn't have time for them something. If I learn science, if I read and Wally book and all them things there. But what happened was the curiosity was ignited, and I said to myself, I must find out, you know, what it is about fast bowling. So then I started to study the whole thing about physically, the kind of training you used to do, what kind of exercises, what kind of food that man used to eat. And from there, I went to Tottenham College. I done an access course in sports science. I went to Southbank University in 1995. I studied sports science. And from there, I graduated and I've progressed on. I've coached cricket, I've coached basketball, I've coached tennis, I've coached football. I've worked with Hesketh Benoit on a number of occasions. I've helped to run Enfield Sports Development Programme. I've run a summer basketball programme in 2001, 2002. I worked at the Royal Free Hospital in Hampstead in the physiotherapy department for 3 years. I was a physiotherapy assistant. I went to Thames Valley University in 2006 to do my Masters in exercise and behavioural medicine. I've registered with Protocol Teaching Agency, and I've worked as a sports teacher through the teaching agency for over 10 years. Coming up 15 years now. I've worked at Tottenham College, I've worked at Southgate College, I've worked at Waltham Forest, I've worked at Hammersmith College in West London, which was attached to the Queen's Park Rangers Football Academy.
Okay.
And I've also worked at Lewisham College as well. So I've worked all over London as a contracted lecturer through the teaching agency. So I've got a wide experience working with young people in sport and in colleges as a lecturer. And I've also done fitness work and things like that, working at the Queen's Park Rangers Football Academy and Enfield Football Club when they were in the Ryman's League. I was their sports physio and fitness coach for like 3 seasons.
Okay then, okay. But come back to your thing about cricket, because I know that earlier on you said you were very disappointed.
Extremely disappointed, extremely.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary by a guy called Stephen Riley. I advise everybody to watch this documentary called Fire in Babylon, which is about the rise of the West Indies cricket team, and his interviews with Clive Lloyd, Viv Richards, Malcolm Marshall. He interviewed Colin Croft, Andy Robertson, a lot of those guys. And those guys played for pride, they didn't play for money. And we're not telling people to play for nothing, but if half of our youngsters that's now on the cusp of becoming professional sports people even took a little leaf out of their book in terms of how to carry yourself with pride as a young black man, you wouldn't even read half the stories you read in the Sunday newspaper with some of these guys there. And that level of pride that those men carry. When I sit down and I hear Viv Richards say that, you know, he was approached by the South African government to go to South Africa in 1983 and he turned down $1.5 million. I'm not talking rand.
Yeah,
that's like them time. That would have been about 5 million rand, South African rand. So that level of consciousness, you know, and you know, there's a lot of youths now playing football. They must sell out themselves for a crate of Guinness. You understand? And I do some whole heap of foolishness. You know what I mean? They're on the back of the sun and the news of the world and do all kind of silliness. So you know what I mean? That kind of mentality there is something that I would like a lot of young people to even take, even though it's a different sport, but take inspiration from them. You know? So I mean, that's important. Yeah. Right now, a lot of my work is setting up an organisation called PR Athletics, where we're doing sports injuries and sports science support, doing a lot of stuff with a lot of young people involved with Classford down at Broadwater Farm, doing a lot of sports injuries and sports science help, doing some sports nutrition stuff, because that kind of stuff, even though Classford has got a reputation as a coach, he needs that kind of scientific help to help train the guys to improve their fitness and their diet and things like that, and help them with any injuries that they've got. So in terms of that, that's my main focus, supporting any talented young sports people, giving them that fitness, sports injuries and nutrition support and help to go with their training to help them succeed.
Also, well, you're the head of Find the Voice of the health department.
Yeah.
I want to just break it down exactly your role and what you're looking to achieve, you know, in the health department in the community.
What we're looking to do from a community basis is that if you go back a little bit and look at a lot of the changes, there's a guy called Andrew Lansbury who is the health minister, and what he's trying to do is he's trying to dissolve a lot of components pertaining to the NHS, and there's going to be a lot of services that people got through their GPs that they're not going to get again in the same way. It's not going to mean that the service is going to disappear, but what it means is that there's going to be a lot of contracts available in terms of healthcare and health support and kind of referral kind of things. Now, we've already got many of our people disproportionately affected by diabetes, and especially coronary heart disease and strokes. So what we want to try to do is introduce health-related programs to try and support and develop many of our people, provide maybe like a once a week or twice a week training program, exercise program in relation with a lot of the GPs, and try and get some of those referral contracts so that some of our elders that go to the doctor, they can come to us and we can provide them with nutritional help and support, and also exercise help, you know, to help them to lose weight, help them to manage and monitor their diabetes, which is a big problem that a lot of our elders have, because you can't, in a lot of cases, you can't reverse the diabetes, but it can be managed, and with the right help and advice, they can manage their diabetes. So those are some of the key things that we're looking to tackle with a lot of our elders. And another thing that we haven't done it yet, and I can't really take it on right now due to the different works we I do, but I would like to launch a campaign in Haringey, especially with a lot of the chicken shops and a lot of the young people in, because we need to have like a campaign to kind of steer a lot of our young people. If you go now, not now, but when the school term is on, go in the week and look, and you'd see how many young people on their lunch break, they're piling up into the chicken shop, you know. And there's a lot of places, and there's a lot of Caribbean food shops around the place that are selling a healthier version of what's there.
In fact, why you mention that? Because right now there's a new takeaway shop, Caribbean, that sell juice just on the West Spring Road.
Yeah. Young man.
That's encouraging now. So at least we encourage people to go
and try to encourage people to go there. And a lot of the kids, when they're on their lunch break, don't go to even though the chicken and chips, man, is $1.99, but you might be paying a pound extra, but you're better off going to check the brethren there because you're getting something healthier. You know, and it's no wonder why the kids can't learn anything.
That's right.
You know?
Absolutely right. And we have no excuse because there's at least 4 or 5 shops them, Caribbean shops them, you know, selling a lot more healthy food than
the chicken and chips.
Just you see what I'm saying, and so forth. I want to bring it back, the old thing about Tottenham.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think is the way forward in terms of how we can move as a community? I know you're very much into the health side stuff, but I know you might look at the holistic approach. But how do you think we can move forward? What do you think the future for Tottenham?
Yeah. Well, one of the problems we've got is that there are a lot of individuals who are educated and are trained in certain professions, but what they do is that they set up business or they set up their organisations outside the area. And that's one of the biggest problems. Even if you do have a part of your business that's outside the area, at least have a component of it that can serve the community, because what our people lack is that professional advice. You know.
Okay. And the final question would be, my brother, you know, because, you know, where's the future holds for you personally? Because I see the man, you really got a lot of energy, you got a lot of vision about you, you're very vibrant. And there's something I want to touch on you, you know, think about music and that stuff there. But maybe next time we could talk about music. I know you're very passionate when it comes to music. So you just have your little cassette tapes.
Yeah. It's one of my hobbies. Music now is not a trade thing, it's a hobby thing.
It's a hobby thing.
Yeah.
But where's the future holds for you personally?
The future for me is for my organisation, PR Athletics, to grow within the next 2 to 3 years. I've got a 5-year plan of where I want PR Athletics to go. That's the future for me. And be more involved in health and education within the local community. That's kind of like where the future lies for me. And again, one of the things I'd like to do is I'd like to write a health and fitness book from an African perspective.
Okay.
In Guilds. And we've made a connection with them. City and Guilds are prepared to give us accreditation. Alright. And it costs £1,500 for the accreditation process to start. And actually they are working on some proposals to put together so that we can acquire the £1,500 to start the registration process and to get it going.
Right. Okay then, my brother. Earlier on, we was talking about music, right? I know that you're very you had a hobby, or you're very fanatic about music. Yeah. So other than that, how it come about, you know, the addiction?
Well, the addiction come about from being a small child, you know, listening to I think the most prominent tune I can remember was Junior Mervin's Police and Thieves. As a small youth, I can remember that tune, you know, and many others as well, but Police and Thieves I think was the most prominent one. And it really started from there. As I became a teenager, I got heavily involved in following sound systems, and a lot of people that I talked to, they wouldn't believe me that I've only bought like 2 records in my life. So I'm saying, oh man, like you love music so much, I don't only buy a record. I don't buy no records. So, you know how that come about? But I said to the man, listen, I just used to collect cassette. I just used to listen dance. That's all I used to do, and I was a little sound system fanatic. I used to study sound system, used to go dance and look at man speaker box and I measure them. and measure the box them and measure base bill and how big the box they compare to that man the box and how Coxon box different from Fat Man box and how Fin box sound so and all them things. So I was a little engineer, a little fanatic. And if you really think about it, the whole thing with sports science and everything, maybe the fanaticism start from there. Because I was kind of analytical. I always wanted to know the root scientifically how you can make them sound there. So then my interest in sound system start from that. And me and a couple man had a sound system from school, and you know the dance idea start from then. So music was always a thing where we used to kind of passionate about it them way there. We used to collect different tape and we used to listen sax and we used to listen how the DJ them chant the mic and then we used to collect different cassette from Jamaica and listen how the different DJ style them from England and Jamaica and how it differed slightly. You know what I mean? Because like the fast style versus the other style, like Josie Will and them man, they had a different style of talking mic. And then Papa Levi and them man, they had more like an English style, was like a fast style.
Yeah.
So you know, them things used to fascinate me as well, the different, call it phonetics then, or the two different DJ style. Yeah, so I was always into them kind of things there, you know what I mean? So it kind of fascinated me, the whole environment.
And what about which DJs you used to really admire them time?
Them time there, I used to admire Papa Levi, Daddy Colonel and Rusty from Sax. I used to love them man there. I used to love listening Daddy IP. Used to love listening Daddy IP. And then from Jamaica now, Stitchy. Lieutenant Stitchy. Used to love Stitchy, you know what I mean? And because he was so intelligent as well, and he used to use his words in his vocabulary.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then after that, Papa San and them man there as well.
Right.
So them kind of man, I used to listen to them man all the time.
See the man's a very versatile man.
Yeah man.
Very versatile.
Yeah, man. And the whole man, I nearly forget, Professor Nuts. Sorry. Professor, I'm sorry. We know this up on YouTube, you know, so we know you haven't seen this, you know. Professor Nuts. Yeah?
Because I'm looking for this one long time. Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Can I eat that one?
Yeah. So
This is mine. This one.
also the whole thing about football.
You fucking mad, Chuck. Hold on.
Yeah. I want to talk about football. 'Cause I know you're very much involved in football. I know you do a lot of analytical analysis of players and so forth, right? What I want to get from you now is that in terms of black footballers, right? In terms of black footballers, what do you think they should be doing in terms of doing a bit more for the community and so forth? Yeah.
Well, eat more. You know? Mr. Cole. No, you're there on, we know say you're there on YouTube every day, regular. And you me at Ashley Cole. Yeah? Since as you know one man calling him Ashley Cole, me calling him right now. Yeah? Remember where you come from. Remember your roots. You understand? Remember, you know, I put you down in a cuss, you know, it's the media. Yeah, the European white media is slandering you, not us. When your back is against the wall and when you've left your partner, is you come to for your comfort and for your solace. So you need to recognize them things there. Yeah? There's a lot of players, again, a lot of young players who, in a way, it's difficult to be hypercritical of them because they've grown up in an environment where the people around them haven't shown them certain things. So therefore, when they become professional and they get a contract, it's very difficult for them to see the bigger picture. Yeah. I know two young men. One young man he's just signed a contract for Chesterfield right now, and again, he's a young man who I can call him anytime and ask him for assistance and participation. But I do also recognise that he's just signed a contract and he needs to establish himself in the team first. You know. So again, we need to be aware of certain young people who are thinking positive, but they need to establish themselves. Sometimes if you see a young man playing football and he's just broken into the first team squad, he's not in a position to turn around and donate 10 grand to a project or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So it's not to be too critical of them. But there's a lot of young people who are, there's a lot of footballers who are established, but to them, how they see it, the training and everything is something that I've done. Them see it as well. I mean, go up on the field. I mean, I score the goal them, so to the victor goes the spoils. You understand? Them don't see it as a collective thing, their success. Them see it as my training. I get up every morning. I was the one that doing the exercises and the skills and everything. So I don't owe my community anything. Yeah. And the problem is now when they get into difficulty or their name gets plastered all over the newspapers or whatever, it's difficult. They come back to the community for refuge and for solace. So therefore, you can't do that. You can't have one without the other. You understand? When the media come down in you and you want somewhere to hide and seek refuge, you can't come back to the community for support, and then when you get back on top of your feet now, you want to distance yourself. It don't work like that.
Because see, one of the things I've said is that there should be like a situation where a footballer who's made a certain amount of money, you know, should put money back into the community.
Of course,
fund.
they should. There
should be a rule or some kind of.
There should be some kind of order, something that them subscribe to where they make that contribution.
That's right.
Another thing as well, and this is, you ask any businessman, any accountant, they will tell you that you're allowed a certain amount financial tax break each year when you make donations. So if you make a 10 grand donation to a community project, it's basically a tax write-off. You understand? It's not anything illegal because companies do it all the time. That guy that owns Primark, he gave his wife 50 grand or something the other day, and because he gave the money to his wife, he doesn't pay tax on it. You understand? Right. There's little things like that. If they set up charities or set up like community, but they can set up a community bank account which is separate to them, and then can put money in it, and it's tax free. So again, we're not even asking them for them to go in their pocket and give something that they do or don't have.
That's right.
It's just a way of get an accountant, manage your money and your thing properly, and you can divert a certain amount of money tax free, and that money can go towards a community cause.
You're absolutely right.
You know, so and then it's being aware of that, because a lot of these guys, they've got agents and representatives that are not thinking about the community, they're thinking about their percentage. So they're not going to advise you to put money into a project that's going to be black owned. You understand? Right. But they will tell them when there's opportunities available, they will advise them to, okay then, yeah, I think that would be good for your image. Why don't you go to that school, that primary school, and take some pictures with the kids and everything. I'll phone up the newspapers and let them know you're coming down and things like that. And there's opportunities like that. People like Wayne Rooney and those guys, they take advantage of them opportunities all the time, but they do it for their community. And their agent encourages them to go and do stuff like that in schools because it's good for his image. You understand? Why don't the agents encourage these black guys to come into the black areas and do community projects like that?
That's right.
That's the question I'd like to ask.
That's right. That's right. Talking about football still, because I mean the season's going to start up in 2 weeks' time, right? Who do you think are going to win the Premiership? I mean, what's your
my take on it? I think Manchester United really are going to be the team to beat again. The amount of money in football now, every season that passes, if you don't invest, you're left behind.
That's right.
Wenger's trying to do it the traditional way, but at the end of the day, if he doesn't invest, he's going to be in problems. You know, I think Arsenal might struggle. If he keeps Nasri and Fabregas, he's got a chance. If they're gone, then they're going to be a mid. I personally believe they're going to be a mid-table club.
Right.
If they've gone, Tottenham Hotspurs again, they're fighting to hold on to Modric. So I think they're going to struggle to make the top four. And for them, being in the top four and getting the Champions League money is something that they want to actually do. So that's going to be a problem for them.
How you see Chelsea?
Chelsea will be the closest challengers to Manchester United because they've made the investments And the guy, Boz Villas, again, he studied sports science at Lisbon University, and he's one of Jose Mourinho's proteges. So he's very astute, very analytical. He's come from a scientific background as well, and if Abramovich gives him time, he will deliver the goods. The problem is, if he doesn't win the Champions League, will Abramovich give him 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 5 seasons?
That's the thing.
Okay, it seems like an ignorant man, you know, where if you don't win certain things, it means man just cut you off same time. You know what I mean? So
I'm ramping up.
Yeah, the guy there, Boaz Villas, he's got a lot of potential, but is Abramovich gonna give him that opportunity?
Yeah. So if you don't prove so in the first season, so boy, you have to come out yourself because you know a trophies. I take this thing here, you know, a trophy one. I know that you do a lot of, you exhibit lots of stuff around cricket in libraries and that stuff. I want just a breakdown how that come about and we're going to do it.
Yeah, that came about totally by accident. I was working at Southwark College and the art department was given a mural to paint some stuff. And the art department and the music department used a large wall, the principal gave them a wall, and they painted people like Louis Armstrong, some other jazz musicians, some artists. There was a guy, an American guy who done graffiti. He's supposed to be a big time artist. He was like, in the 80s when hip hop was big, he was a graffiti artist and some other people. So my head of department in the sports department now, when we had our meeting, she says, we want to get involved in Black History Month and what we're going to do. And they asked me my suggestions. And I invented a fantasy football 11. And it grew from there. And what I was very conscious of the fact that a lot of celebrity footballers who are played football, but again, it's their contribution. So I'm looking at black sports people who reside, either born in the UK or reside in the UK, who not only play football, but are making a contribution. People like Michael Essien, very active in Ghana, does a lot of things in Ghana. Again, Didier Drogba does a lot of things in Ivory Coast. There's a lot of people like Rud Hulling who speak 5 languages. How many white footballers know talk 5 languages? Rooney can just about talk English. You've got other people like Shaka Islop who studied engineering in Trinidad. And actually, do people know on his year internship, he spent his year internship at NASA. You know, a lot of people don't know that. So then we've got educated and professional black sportsmen and women. There's retired people. Connie Henry, who was a long jumper, she jumped in the Commonwealth Games in the 90s, and she's a journalist now. She works for Eurosport. You know, so these are things that we need to know about our black sportsmen and women. We need to know this information about them. It's not just about the big stars in the Premiership who are making money, but there's people from other sports, athletics and cricket and boxing, who have done other things also. Yeah? Okay. So we need to know about those things, and part of my exhibition, taking it around to I've done it in St Anne's Library for the last 4 years, and also going to a lot of local schools. And when a lot of children see that these famous black sportsmen and women have not only done well in their sport, but they've also done stuff in their community, or they've also gone on to do other things, it again takes the focus away from the immediate limelight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to bring the reason around the whole thing about education and the whole thing that the argument for having a black school, so to speak. Yeah. And I've heard you talk about this on the radio, and I was quite impressed of your perspective. Yeah. Very impressive perspective, right? I mean, the question would be now, right? Do you think we should have black schools?
At the moment, no, not at all. Okay. I'm totally against it at present.
Right.
And I will explain why. At present, we're not ready to have a black school. And the reason why we're not ready to have a black school is that there are too many divided schools of thought in terms of education and how we should be taught and how young people should be taught. Yeah? Because teachers who are educated and born on a continent in Africa have a different perspective than teachers who are either born in the UK or from the Caribbean. And at the moment, we're divided. If we can, and when, and only when we get one unilateral black education policy, which is what we don't have, then we can have a black school. Because at the moment, what will happen is you'll just have a Jamaican school or a Nigerian school or a Ghanaian school, because that's exactly what we've got at the moment. We're still within our cultural pockets within London. London, of all the cities in the world, I don't have any statistics to prove this, but I'm hazard to guess that London has the most diverse black community probably in the world. Yeah, I don't think there are as many different black people from as many different parts of the world in London than any other city. I don't even think New York or even Miami or places like that have got as many different black people. You know, stand to be proven corrected, but I'm willing to hazard a guess that that's not the case. And because of that, there's the interrelationship between those different communities is crucial, right? And I've been on 2 steering groups that have looked at developing a black school, and on all occasions, the steering groups have broken down because the indigenous African teachers from the continent and the English-born and Caribbean teachers differed on various ethics and principles in terms of producing like the teaching document, how we're going to run this school. And people become divided. And when you become divided, you go back into your show. Yeah? And if we can't, at the moment, we haven't got to a stage where we can rise above being Jamaican or being Ghanaian or being Nigerian. We haven't gone past that stage yet. So a black school now would be detrimental to us based on that. Yeah? And if you look at the black schools in the States, why they're successful is because that cultural divisiveness don't exist. Right. Because the majority of the people are black American ex-slaves and them serve one general black American identity. It's not because they're any more or less progressive than us, but they don't have a divided identity. So when you're having a black school, it's based on these principles and everyone agrees to it. Whereas when you're bringing your team from Ghana, or you're bringing your team from Nigeria, or you're bringing your team from Somalia, or from Zimbabwe, or from Jamaica, or Barbados, or whatever, you're bringing your thing to it. And it makes us culturally enriched and makes us dynamic, but it means that we don't all sing from the same hymn sheet.
Okay. It's quite interesting to get that kind of perspective. And also, I remember last year you talking about what's important as well, that we need to, as parents, take more responsibility as well.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of educating our children. I heard you said that. Okay, that's quite interesting because it's a different kind of perspective. We need to turn things up and down and read, know what we're talking about. I want to touch your thing about religion.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how do you see religion play in the community today? I mean, what's your perspective on religion?
My perspective on religion is that at present, the organised churches within the black community at present, I would say they're the second largest, most detrimental force to us as an organisation. You're not serving us no purpose apart from taking our money. No purpose at all. Yeah? I mean, I look right into the camera. I the pastor them I talk to, what I know. Yeah? You're not serving us any purpose whatsoever. You know? I don't know who's worse, the pastor them or the youth them stabbing each other. I don't know who's worse.
Or the drug dealer.
Or the drug man them, yeah. I don't know who's worse. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're talking about the footballers them and pooling money together. Them man they have got money that they're sitting on, them pastors. And you know, I don't see them man parting with it to do any community, anything, whatever. You know. And
you see what make it worse that you don't see them come out and try to get involved in the community.
No, not at all. You know, any conversation you're having with them, again, what I was saying about education and divisiveness, is that once you go to them, the first thing is, All right. Are you coming to church?
Yes.
That's the first question.
Yeah.
And it falls down there. If you're not coming to church, then we're not working with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversation stops there and then.
It's true, man.
You know what I mean? If we wanted to start a black school tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and I turn around to them and says, okay, then I'm a sports teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I will write the PE syllabus for the school,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll have a black school.
Mm-hmm.
And if the man turn around and asks me if I come to church, I'm telling him, no, I'm not coming to church.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Why should I come to church? But at the end of the day, we put that aside.
Mm-hmm.
The main purpose is to have a black school.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
I'm going to write the syllabus
Yeah.
as the PE teacher for the school.
Yeah.
Yeah? You got the funds and the money to start it.
Mm.
Find a building, put the money together.
Mhm.
I will write the syllabus. You don't have to question me about whether I go to church or not. You understand? But again, it's the divisiveness.
Yeah.
That's one of the examples.
Yeah.
And once I'm decided that I'm not going to church, me and him will part company.
Yeah.
And I'll keep my syllabus and he'll keep his money.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Can we put that aside?
Mm-hmm.
Can we put that divisiveness aside?
Mhm.
And other people do.
Mhm.
Other communities do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask Chris about education and, well, schools, and focus most around black boys, you know, young black boys. What do you think we can do as elders, or you know, what do we think we can do in terms of educating our young boys? You know, in terms of especially in the schools, because what's happening now, that I believe that the first around boys are that I think they need more getting young black men to go down and start mentoring them and start doing things and so forth. I mean, what can you think we can do as a community to, you know?
As a community, having the mentors in the school, I don't believe it's a solution, but it highlights the problem.
Right.
Because if the black man has to go into the school to manage the children, it simply means that there's not a black man at home managing the youth outside of the school.
Right.
And that's where the problem is. The problem is not actually in the school.
Mm-hmm.
The problem manifests itself in the school, but the problem starts outside.
Okay.
And the youths then bring it into the school environment.
Right.
You understand? So then, they need strong black male influence outside the school.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's the first thing.
You're saying that, you know, it's not something the school really. It's
Yeah.
really to do the whole environment.
The whole environment.
Home environment
Yeah.
and so forth. And yeah, that's where the really comes to the issue.
Yeah.
Really is. It's really there, gripping
It's
that.
really there. The problem is not in the school. The problem's in the home. It reflects itself in the school because the bad behaviour is shown in the school.
Yeah.
But the root of the problem is not in the school.
Yes.
It's in the home. If you control the home environment, you can tackle the issue. Yeah. One of the things I would strongly advise, and it annoys me, is that number one, not enough parents take an active role in the school. How many black parents are parent governors?
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah.
Handful. And it's always the parent that is not the black governor. They're the first one to buy and say the school is racist. Well, if you knew the school is racist, why don't you go on the governor's board and do something about it? You know, that's a problem. Yeah. We've got our children, especially boys, into a victim and an excuse culture.
Right.
And they're making excuses about the school being racist and the teachers being racist. And my argument is, we already know that the system is not for us, and that there's racist teachers.
Okay.
So it's what we do about it.
Okay then. I just want to zoom in here because as we got you here, the black and black crime. I mean, well, I use the word black and black crime.
Yeah.
How do you see that, and what do you think how we deal with kind of madness?
Again, it's down to lack of identity,
Right.
and also as well lack of discipline and control within the home environment.
So everything comes back to the home.
Everything comes back to the home.
Environment.
If the home environment's stable, you're not gonna go out there and join a gang.
Yeah.
You only go out there and join a gang if there's no stability in your house.
Yes.
Do you understand? Or why are you gonna go out and look for something that you already have? You understand? Why? You're not gonna do it. So they need stability in their yard. They need it. You know.
Okay then. Well, Ricardo, we kind of have you here, my brother. And,
Yeah, man.
you know, it's really just boosted ears, just hearing your reason before
Yeah.
sharing some of your ideology, your thoughts, and you kind of roar with it because you made it quite clear that, you know, some people are going committed pure foolishness.
Yeah,
And we just love your sincerity coming across, my brother. So again, you know, we have to give thanks for Ricardo to join us on Tony's Barbershop, and it's really been a pleasure to have him among us.
Yeah.
Ricardo,
Yeah, man.
give thanks, brother.
Yes.
One love.
All right.
One love. Peace.